So you want to start being a ham radio operator?
Hi, editing Devin here. I know you can't see the top of my head, so sorry. It doesn't really matter. If you want to see my face that bad, then tape a picture of myself to your monitor. Thanks.
Your first ham radio should be a baofeng.
Frequency mode.
Hi, I'm Daffy Duck, KC3TGZ. Forget all of these expensive ham radios. Your first radio should be a baofeng. Let me tell you why.
If you're clicking away from this video now, good, it's not for you. A lot of people will say that a baofeng is garbage and it's Chinese junk and the communists are going to spy on you and that you'll never be able to talk to anyone because all they'll hear is static and you'll never hear anyone because it's Chinese, it's horrible and you hate it and it's complicated and it shouldn't be your first radio. Well, boy am I here to tell you they're all wrong. This radio is garbage. Let's start off with that. This is a horrible radio. It is absolutely the worst, probably, handheld ham radio that you could possibly buy. However, this is the radio that you should start your ham radio adventure with. Let's talk about getting into ham radio. When you first decide to become a ham radio operator, you don't know if you want to be a ham radio operator. Hold on, let me get a chair. This is horrible. Initially, you have no idea if you want to be a ham radio operator, right? You see all these people talking on ham radios, and you're like, I could do that. That sounds fun. I want to talk to my friends and use the radio. Great. Awesome. Perfect. So that's where this comes in. It's a ham radio. It's not a good one. In fact, it's the worst. But I'll tell you one thing it does well. It radios. And that's really all you care about when you're first getting into the hobby, right? That's really distracting. Anyway, this radio does radio. It makes your voice go into electrical magicals, and it receives electrical magicals and turns them back into voice. That is all you need to do with your first radio. It lets you access a repeater. It lets you do digital modes. We'll talk about that in a future video. You're going to need some extra conjiggering, but it'll do it. We'll do it. Battery life, excellent. Accessories, widely available. Signal stick antenna. Go to signalstuff.com and get yourself a super elastic signal stick. And don't forget, you have this amazing Chinese voice every time you turn the radio on.
Frequency mode.
Oh, and you can even make her say channel mode.
Channel mode.
Ooh, everybody knows that sound. This radio will do repeaters, it will do simplex, it will do satellites, it will do whatever you as a technician coming into the hobby, not knowing if you want to stay in the hobby, will need it to do. And nothing more. It'll do nothing more. Sir, you have better radios. This is a Yaesu FT3DR. It's a great radio. It's $300, or it was when I got it. It's probably not anymore. That's a lot of money for a hobby that you don't know that you're going to do for a while, right? Right? Nobody wants to spend $300 on a whim. At least I don't. I'm a cheap ass, but what do I know? This is another baofeng. It's a baofeng BF888S. Okay? They complement each other well. This radio can be had for $9. $9. $9. Guess what? It works just fine. Okay? For $9. You don't need to spend any money to get into this hobby at all. Any. This is the cost of a Big Mac meal. It's less than a Big Mac meal. Okay? And I just talked on a repeater. It works just fine. If you want to get super fancy, this is the cost of a Starbucks bagel and a large latte. Okay? Or a venti or whatever they call them, right? And guess what? It does a little bit more. You can talk on repeaters. It's got a screen. So the difference The difference between these two radios is this one is 70 centimeters or 440 megahertz. It's called UHF. We'll dumb it down even. This is UHF only. This is dual band, which means it does UHF and VHF. That's why this is double the cost of that one. This one, to be fair, is a lot better than this one, but they're both totally garbage. These are great to like... You're not supposed to use these radios on what's called FRS or GMRS. They're not type accepted. That's what the government says. Now, what I say is screw the... This is a perfect radio to give to your children, family, friends, colleagues. Program it for FRS frequencies and GMRS frequencies and try out to see if you like playing with radios. Like, hello, I'm talking on a radio. That's what this is for. It's good for nothing else. You can talk on a repeater. You can say hi. There's no screen. There's like 3 buttons. It doesn't have an FM radio. It has 16 channels and a volume button, okay? Now, this radio should be the one you start with. If you're really cheap, you go with the last one. If you think you're somewhat, kind of maybe an inkling serious about the hobby, start with this one, okay? This is a baofeng UV5R. There's a lot of different models, UV. The UV5R is a good one. There's lots of aftermarket batteries, antennas, cases, earpieces. You can pretend you're in the FBI with the little, hello, we got him over here. You know, one of those dudes. It's great. My buddy uses his with a Yagi, and he can like boom, 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 point it wherever you want. We'll get into Yagis later. A Yagi's like a freaking slingshot for your electrical magicals. Okay, it slingshots it in one direction. That's all it does. It's like a pew pew. I can't say that word or they'll kill the video. Not kill. They'll remove it. The reason you need a cheap radio when you're getting into the hobby is because once you start talking on your local area repeaters, if you have any, I hope you do. Most people do. You're gonna find out the crowd that you have established in your area. They're either going to be grumpy old people, nice old people, grumpy young people, or nice young people, or a mix of nice young people and nice old people with a few grumpy old people. That's what you're going to experience. You got to ignore the grumpy old people. Don't let them ruin this for you. It's fun. It's totally fun. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here making videos about it because that would be boring. And this is fun, not boring. So, the moral of the story is to buy a UV5R. Do it before you get your license, okay? Do the UV5R before you get your license. Start listening. Program in your local repeaters. Learn how to use the software for the computer to program it. It's called Chirp. You can also program these from the front panel. If you can program a channel in from the front panel of a baofeng, you can operate any ham radio. That's as complicated as it gets. Except for maybe Yaesu menus. But that's another story. Don't listen to the mean people. Buy a baofeng UV5R. Start listening. Get your tech. Get on the air. Start talking. Figure out if you love talking on radios. And then go for crazy. I went for crazy. I love radios. I love radios so much. I love radios so much. I love radios. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about getting into HF radio after you pass your general. General's where it's at, by the way. This tech stuff, child's play. HF, that's where the fun's at. But, hey, some people like 2 meter, 70 centimeters, UHF, VHF. I'm just not that guy. I got a repeater. I don't use it. So, stay tuned for the HF episode. You'll love it. I promise.